Well, Markee Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and today I've got Mandy with me. She's a hardcore EVE Online player. Now, Mandy, what is your name in game?
It's Aura Bulwark.
Okay, see, I knew I wouldn't be able to say that correctly, that I would botch it, so I let you do it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah. Now, let's see, you're in the Alliance of Broken Toys and the Corp of Aftermath, period.
Right.
So, we've talked a few other times before about some different things, and in the last video, you mentioned something about, you know, converting PLEX into ISK and everything, and, you know, how you sometimes walk people through how to do that and everything. So,
yes.
First, and so I wanted to ask you some questions about that. And first, ISK is the currency in the game.
Yes.
And then, how does that relate to game time codes and PLEX?
Okay, well, PLEX is basically what CCP's come up with in-game to sell on the market that you get from your game time codes or your ETC. So your first step when you want to buy that big ship that you don't have enough ISK in-game for, or pretty much anything shiny that you want in-game. Like, I know they have clothes and monocles and all sorts of interesting things. But you would go to like markeedragon.com, a reseller, and pick out, however many game time codes you need. You can always do the math on Eve. It'll tell you, via market how many game time codes you will need for a certain amount of ISK. There are some extreme amounts that, players are putting down. Luckily, you don't have to put down, $3,000 for your normal ships. Your normal ships you can get with, a couple of game time codes or one game time code, or if you're really hardcore and you actually kind of have been playing for a while and you know how to earn ISK in-game, you can do it that way. To convert the ISK, though, you need to literally either go to a reseller or buy it in-game. If you buy it in-game, you buy what are called PLEX. PLEX is literally 2 game time codes or 2 30-day time codes. I know right now they're selling, I believe, only in the 60-day time code, correct?
Yeah, for the resellers, we only sell the 60-day denomination.
Right. In-game, basically, when you buy from one of the resellers, you can either sell it on Eve's forums, which basically you literally make a listing, I want to sell for this amount of ISK, and someone from game will literally contact you back on the forum saying sell to this character for this ISK.
And is this just a forum post, or is this an actual method that's protected?
No, it's protected. You go from the forum post to eveonline.com. They actually have a setting in your account where you put in that player's name. And it transfers it securely through EVE Online.
And so they like put up the ISK, and then you put in the code, and then when they're both there, then it transfers?
Right, because, in Eve, you sold it in-game just to somebody randomly, and they traded you the ISK. I mean,
because this game is full of thieves.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get anything for that time code.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, make sure that you're putting it in through this system, because otherwise they're just going to scam you. But yeah, basically you take that name from the forums and make sure you get the name correct, because otherwise you're going to send an email to someone random who's not going to pay you for the game time code. It's just going to be sitting there for days. But basically you take their name, you put it in the system, make sure you've got as many zeros as you actually want behind the commas, because sometimes you will sell it for much less ISK than you were intending. So double check everything.
There's probably no refunds on that either, huh?
No. Basically, once you hit sell, that character has to accept it in-game on their character. Once they've accepted it in-game on their character, it will be considered sold, and the ISK will be transferred to you in-game via CCP. But if they decide not to buy it, it will, again, sit there for days and days and days unless you pull the order. You can't hit cancel. Until they've decided to buy it. You can hit cancel and sell it to another person, hopefully for a higher amount of ISK. Now, when you're going to take the GTC to the game, you literally hit escape on the game and it pulls up a little console panel. At the bottom of the panel, there is convert ETC to ISK, or to Plex, actually.
Hmm.
You put in the game time code you get in your email. You put it in the little box, make sure it's all capitals, because otherwise you'll be typing 3 different times in lowercase and it's not pretty. Make sure it's all in capitals, and just as soon as you click OK, it will tell you, are you sure you want to do this? Click yes, of course, and then you will get your 2plex in whatever station system you are docked in. So if you want to sell it somewhere, make sure you're already docked in that station, otherwise you'll have to transport it and you will most likely get ganked and
Oh
killed for
my! So you
yes.
so you can lose it. You know, another player can kill you, and you can lose it.
Right, exactly.
Hmm.
Used to, the Plex would not drop when you're killed. Now it has a chance to drop, so the other player can actually steal it now.
Can they tell that you have that on you?
Yes, there are ship scanners, and there are guys out
Oh
there
my!
that will sit with their ship scanners on gates, and they will see what you have in your cargo hold and determine whether it's worth killing you or not.
Hmm.
So, so definitely make sure you're in whatever station you actually want to be in to sell that game time code. Like Jita has certain prices, different markets have different prices for the game time codes. Just make sure you're where you want to sell it type thing. Because
Interesting.
transporting it's not fun.
Yeah. You're risking more than just your ship. You're risking some of your money at that
Right,
point.
exactly. And when you do convert it to Plex, you can either say I want to use this Plex as, 30 days for my time,
Hmm.
or you can sell it in game for ISK on the market. You can also sell it in game on contracts, but those are usually a little sketchy and they add zeros and take away zeros and that sort of thing.
Hmm. Would that be for more advanced people who've done this quite a bit?
Honestly, the contracts are usually just scammers, so the
Hmm.
market would probably be your safest bet, even if you've done it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Usually, you won't be able to find deals on contracts.
Now, okay, so EVE Online is a game that you pay a monthly subscription for it.
Right.
Now, why would you need to buy, the game time codes and convert them into ISK? Why not just earn the ISK?
Well, some people do just earn the ISK, and they either go out and they mine, or they gank other players and steal their stuff, or they do all the fun criminal things. But another reason is, like myself, I don't exactly want to give CCP my credit card information. It makes me just a little bit nervous every so often. Also, other banks will kind of flag it because it's not in country type thing. So
Oh, right. Yeah,
sometimes,
we've seen that before.
yeah,
So,
sometimes you have those sorts of issues, and you just want to buy your GTCs and pay CCP through that form.
hmm.
You can also, of course, buy Plex to convert to ISK to buy pretty ships, or faction modifications that make the ships go faster or lock other targets farther away. All sorts of fun things that you would, especially if you're in a PvP setting where you're not really going to want to sit there and earn the ISK type thing, or
Hmm.
not capable with your main tune. That's kind of the scenario where you start to see a lot of players go out and buy the ISK. And again, on the other side of the coin, there's players that literally go out and they earn the ISK, and they go ahead and upgrade their ships, but all of a sudden they decide that they really want to fly that ship over there, and so they go out and they spend $3,000 to get that big shiny Titan.
No, wait,
And
wait. So people spend $3,000 on one ship?
oh yes.
Oh my.
Yes, exactly. The Titans, now they are a very specialty ship, and by the time they've gotten to the point where these characters can fly them, they have been playing this game a while, and they of course know what they're getting into. They've probably invested at least that much in the game by that point already. Um, Now, whether they realize they've invested that by this point, just by paying their subscription for, the past 8 years. But you can also buy Titan pilots, in the character boards, through CCP. So they can also go out and use this ISK to buy these pilots. So, that's another reason to put another 3,000, 4,000 down for some of the characters.
No. Wait a second. The characters go for that much as well?
Yes, very specified characters will go for at least that much. You can sell
Wow.
you can sell a decent, I'd say about 10 million skill point character for about 2 billion ISK, which, one second, let me plug it in my calculator here, is about $70 in game time cards. And that's, that's somebody who can fly a cruiser and a battle cruiser and maybe is starting to get the battleships underway. So, they've been playing the game for about 6 to 8 months to train that character to sell for that amount of ISK. If you get into the Titan pilots, where they've literally trained that character for, a year or more, that's when you start seeing the 1,000+ marker.
Wow. So actually, okay. So, but it's not when let's say you made a character that was worth, $1,000 worth of ISK, but
Right.
but let's say, okay, I'm newbie coming in, or I play the game a little bit, and I know I don't want to take all this time, so it's like power leveling.
Right.
And now, but when I buy it from you, you just get the ISK in the game. You don't actually get to cash out and like put that money in your pocket in real life.
No, it's like the game time cards. You literally find their name on the forums. There's literally an auction format that they go through. There's a 24-hour waiting period that CCP has on that tune to make sure that, it's out of corp. It doesn't have, anything negative against it. It's not about to be destroyed type thing. And so there's literally a waiting, I think it's still 24 hours. It might be down to 12, but I'm not positive on that. And usually the buying person will pay the $20 fee to CCP to get that character switched. Now, they can pay that, again, in PLEX, which is, I think, 2 PLEX, so it would be 1 GTC. Or they can pay straight to EVE Online, with the $20. EVE has opened it up, so they will take the GTCs and the PLEX now for that payment, which is awesome because they used not to do that. But that's basically, you go through the character forums just like you would for the GTCs, and you auction off that tune through EVE Online's forums.
Now, what happens? I see other people out there selling ISK, just for cash on different websites. And I know that CCP watches for that. What happens when people get caught?
You will get your IPs banned very quickly. You will get your accounts locked out, banned pretty much forever. You can, if CCP is feeling generous, they will simply set your account to negative the amount of ISK that you've been caught selling. So, negative 18 billion, negative 50 billion, negative 80 billion. And you will still be able to play that character, but you won't be able to buy anything until you get that account back up to a certain level of ISK.
And that's what they do to sellers?
No, that's what they do to buyers. Sellers are immediately pretty much banned and purged from the system type thing.
So they put in this valid method so that people can buy ISK.
Exactly. They can buy characters. And which again leads back to the buying the GTCs.
Yeah, which we conveniently happen to sell.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but I'm finding this is much more involved than what I thought it was, and there's much more than you can do with it than what I thought you could. And now, an average player, like the ships that you fly, what are they worth?
The ships that I mainly fly now, I'll be honest, I tend to fly little destroyers and things because I like them. They are fast, and they are, worth $1 to $2. Now, when I'm in the big 100 to 1,000 man engagements, we're out there in battleships, and there's some guys out there in carriers, which the carriers are probably worth an easy $30 to $60. The battleships are usually worth, here, let me plug it into my calculator here. Battleships are worth usually $11. So, I mean, if you go out and buy a GTC from a reseller, you know, you can get a decent amount of ships. Like I said, I like the frigates and the cruisers and the battle cruisers. So I mean, you can get a very nice amount of starter ships in EVE if you go out and buy, you know, a GTC to start the game. You will get a very nice return ship-wise on what you can fly and that sort of thing.
So now, I understand that when a ship gets blown up, it's gone.
Yes, it is very gone.
But at the same time, though, can't you buy insurance on that?
You can, but insurance is based on an extremely low market value that CCP puts on the ships. It's usually about half or less of what the ship is actually worth. In certain markets, it gets up to 3/4 of the worth. So it really depends on what ship and how much they are wanting you to pay for the insurance. Like a battleship, which is roughly about 150 to 200 million ISK in-game, their insurance will cost 17 to 20 million ISK. So that you've lost 20 million out the door, and then they might pay you back 110 to 150 of, you know, that 250 million.
How often do you lose one of your ships?
Oh, all the time.
Well, then it sounds like it's worth it to me.
Definitely, it's worth it. It's fun to lose ships and not be as concerned that you lost one, because you know you've got another one back in the wings, or you know you've got another one, you know, fit that you can go grab. Like I've got dozens of cruisers in my hangar, so once I go out and get popped because I'm flying solo and not paying attention, I can go right and hop back in my next cruiser.
Yeah. So, well, that's all pretty cool. So I guess with I mean, we get asked this all the time. So with us being a reseller, we get asked, okay, I bought this, I want to convert it to ISK, and they don't, well, we don't know how to do it. I mean, I haven't ever done it myself. So, so just real quickly again, as a synopsis here. So, and maybe I'll link to them to this video right to this point or something like that.
Okay.
But you know, so I got my game time code, and I want to go convert it to ISK in the game. Where do I go?
Okay, the easiest way is literally to hit the escape shortcut key. There's a little button right under that menu that says Convert ETC to Game Time. You plug in your code in the little box it gives you, and literally you will have 2 PLEX sitting in your hangar. Now, you can use those PLEX, again, to pay for the game time, or you can sell them on the market in EVE for ISK. That is your easiest and quickest way to do it.
And the market is within game. It's not like the forums that you talked about earlier.
No, this is the easiest, quickest is in-game. Just hit escape and you can instantly trade it for ISK. If you go to the EVE Online forums and go to their timecode bazaar, you can basically advertise that you want to sell your game time code for a certain amount. Just type in want to sell 1 game time code for this amount of ISK. You will usually get a response. And then you take that character's name into your account management for EVE, and you literally just plug in the boxes. You plug in the character's name that you're selling it from, who you're selling it to, and the amount you're selling it for. And again, make sure you check all your zeros and the name.
Right.
And then you just hit OK, and that'll be listed as a sell order until they accept in-game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. So, Mandy, and once again, you belong to a pretty large corp or alliance in the game.
Right.
And so let's see, the alliance is Broken Toys, and the corp is Aftermath, period.
Right.
And so if people want to join your corp or your alliance, how do they do that?
Literally, they click on the little email icon in their game browser and send a mail to Aura Bulwark.
Okay, which is spelled the same as what it is on this video for those of you that are watching. Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you very much, Mandy. I really appreciate your time on this. I can't believe I've been selling game time codes for so many years, and I never knew that there was so much that could be done with them. So,
Yes, it's
yeah,
very intricate. Well, thank you
yeah.
for having me.
Yes, thank you. And those of you out there watching, please subscribe if you like content like this, and take care.